Baldur's Gate 3, first of all, got moved up a few weeks. It's now coming out on my birthday, so thank you so much, Larian, August the 3rd.
Oh, they did that just for you, no
just
doubt.
Just for me. So it's currently in early access on PC. It's coming out on PC on August 3rd, and then they're moving the PlayStation version to September. And then they have said they've hit a significant roadblock with porting the game to next-gen Xbox systems because of this Series S.
Brutal.
Which is that what they said, like on record? That is wild.
Yeah.
I'm making no friends over at Xbox for saying that.
Literally.
Also
they were really upfront. They were really upfront about it. They've been upfront about it for a while, actually. It's not the first time they've said it. They've said that it's the number one priority for them is like parity of features. They want and couch co-op is the thing, and they want every version of the game to ship with that, and they can't get it working on Series S yet.
Yeah. So Series S is obviously the lesser powered Xbox of this generation, launched around the same time as the Series, or did launch the same time as the Series X. Less storage in there as well. Basically, it's wild because you buy a Series S and then you basically spend the exact same amount of money on the external storage. So you might as well have just bought a Series X. But I mean, in terms of portability, it's great. I got to do the unboxing for it, and it is basically like a book. It's wild. Yes. The technology that's in there is incredible for what it is. But it's also kind of interesting when you are discussing Xbox as an ecosystem, which is how they like to refer to it. And it's like, well, they want to have something that comes out in Xbox One, Series S, and Series X. But what happens when, it has to be current gen only, and maybe Series S doesn't make the cut, which seems to be what is happening here. So, boys, do any of you have a Series S?
Yes. I have one, and I actually have it in my lounge room in my house, and it's a great console. Like, it really is, and it's pretty remarkable. Like, if you pick it up, its form factor is wild. It's like a small shoebox, and it's so light. And there's actually this add-on you can buy, like a third-party add-on that's a screen. Have you guys seen this?
I have one.
Oh, I didn't realize that was official.
Yeah, sure. I got one at my time at G4. It was one of my party gifts I got to take. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like it's literally just a screen that bolts onto the back of it, and then it folds over, and it's basically like a little portable thing. You know what I mean? Which is incredible. And I think it's a great product for people entering that ecosystem. Like, really, it's great price point. It does have full parity across the entire library, as in you can play everything that comes out. Xbox have been really insistent on that point. They've never budged, and I don't think they ever will. But yeah, the word from the start, as soon as it was announced, was a whole bunch of developers being like, this is a massive problem. This is going to be like an albatross around Xbox's neck. It's going to hold back developers because they need to. This creates the next sort of like lowest common denominator for the coming console generation, and will hold back all, game development, because everything needs to be baseline to this less powerful console. Now, I don't know if that is true, okay? And I don't want to get into that I don't want to pretend like I know anything about that, because I've heard conflicting stuff. I've heard some developers say, yeah, absolutely, this is a problem, and it will definitely hold things back, and we always need to be designing around this thing at a baseline. I've heard other developers say, no, it's fine. It's perfectly, you just design things differently, and this does not hold anything back. So I don't know exactly where that goes. But clearly, this is a pretty obvious example of the S, at least holding Larian back, and them needing to put in a lot more effort to get the S to where it needs to be to, have full feature parity. So, I don't know. Do you guys Gerard, do you actually use your S? I don't use my S much. Do you use it?
I use my S for indie games almost exclusively. It's my indie box. So,
sure.
Mostly because I've never really had. I mean, I have both an Xbox. I in my office, I have several Xbox Series S's, just as a means of having extra for recording B-roll or streaming, whatever it may be. But I love them. I think they're great. I definitely think it's weird there's no CD drive on it, unless it's a little less in terms of performance, from it not being a 4K console 100% all the way through. But it runs. I haven't had a game I've played on it that's like run worse than that on an Xbox Series X yet. It just seems pretty pretty 1-to-1 in that way. I feel like the big jump difference is, are you playing the game in 4K and not 1080p plus or 2K or whatever it may be? I think that's kind of where like the hardware power really kind of resonates. But it's interesting to hear. It's almost like it's not the same, but it's how I think of it. Nintendo Switch Lite versus Nintendo Switch versus Nintendo OLED. Like the constraints around the hardware creating a longevity problem could be an issue for sure.
Yeah, I bought an S for my brother as a gift. He's like a casual gamer and he loves it. It's just like it's what he uses to play Call of Duty and Fortnite and these sorts of things, right? And it's the perfect device for him because he has Game Pass and he buys the odd game here or there. Like he's into Diablo, so he bought Diablo 4 and he's able to play it on the S, and like that's it. And it's kind of like, would I have bought him an Xbox Series X? No, that's too much money, but I bought him that, and it's like, yeah, this is a great entry point. And does he need an X? Not really, because he doesn't play that many games. And I think Xbox have always been crowing about how successful this is as a category. They're always talking about how they're really glad that they've done it. They get so many new people joining the Xbox ecosystem because of it. So I think if we take their commentary at face value, it does sound like this has been a good play. But I mean, I do wonder how much impact it's had on the development side of things and whether or not it's held them back, because it's definitely a lot less powerful than the other device for sure.
Well, apparently Xbox are now helping out the Larian team, and hopefully they're working on it. So to get it out this year. So sorry.
I also think the timing of Baldur's Gate not coming out on Xbox in September is probably good for them because Starfield is right there, and those are two big old RPGs, and I think Starfield is going to be the one that has way more name recognition on that platform and that more people are going to show up for. And so if you're Larian and you're putting out Baldur's Gate and you have your PC version coming out early August and you have a PlayStation version coming out early September, I think both of those are smart dates. And if you can wait until the Starfield hype is over and then release on Xbox, I think that might be even the stronger move for you. And so I don't think, like, as much of a bummer as hearing the news of it not coming to Xbox immediately because of the Xbox Series S might sound on at the front of it, I think it's a net positive, just based on the fact that, hey, if we have an Xbox, we're probably gonna be playing Starfield on it anyway. And so let's just wait.
I was gonna say that takeover I can already see the takeover that Starfield is gonna have it. Like, I'll boot up my Xbox and everything will be Starfield.
Yes.
So there will be no escaping it.
Twitter threads.
Oh god.
Threads.
Blue skies.
I really hope that the hive buzzes, whatever you call them on Hive. But I really hope that the conversation on social media around Starfield is like what we saw for Tears of the Kingdom, where it's people showing off really unique things that happen to them while playing their game. Like, I think from the way that they talked about Starfield in that Xbox showcase and the way that Phil Spencer and like people who like have been showing up on the Giant Bombcast, for example, or the Giant Bomb Couch, for example, right? Like Phil saying that he's been playing this game since last fall, and like him being like, yo, it lives up. Xbox talking about during their showcase that it's one of the most important RPGs ever made, and then that showcase being so in depth and showing all the different things that can happen and all like 1,000 planets you can go to and all this stuff, dude. That game better have some staying power. Like I better be playing that game for 80 hours and finding new content constantly, dude. And so, that's going to hopefully take up a lot of our time.
Hope you enjoyed that clip of the Frames Per Second podcast. To check out the full episode, head over to SkillUp's YouTube channel or search Frames Per Second everywhere you get your podcasts.